want to establish some routine on this channel so that people know what to expect. One of those routines is going to be going through classic stories and analyzing what they mean. And I don't mean to see what basic moral lessons we can learn from them. I believe that stories contain deep truths that our subconscious mind uses to shape our conscious mind and how we interact with the world. In fact, several noted psychologists, including Carl Jung, believed that stories, dreams, and religious symbolisms were all innate in human beings, something we literally need in order to discover how we should interact with the world. We model our behavior in them and discover truth in them to help us better fulfill our purpose in life. So stories that have survived for hundreds or even thousands of years while millions of others have faded away, survived for a reason. And I believe that reason is that they contain truths that will be of unimaginable worth to those who can discover their meaning and apply them in their daily life. Pinocchio might seem like a funny place to start, but I believe that even children's stories have profound archetypes in them. And the original Pinocchio story wasn't exactly meant for children anyway. We'll start off with Geppetto, the maker of the puppet, a man who is good, but not so good for the puppet. There are several archetypes in classical literature, and Geppetto would certainly fit into the role of a guardian, someone who provides for the hero, but in that safety presents them with an obstacle. Like the mom whose 35-year-old son lives in her basement covered in Cheeto dust and dreams of the day that he will find that hot babe. His mom is his best friend and his worst enemy. A guardian typically provides a safe place for a hero, but in that safety provides the hero no opportunity for growth. Pinocchio will never be a real boy if he isn't allowed to explore himself outside of his father's house. One of my main influences for my story analysis is a man by the name of Joseph Campbell, a late professor at Sarah Lawrence College, where he taught his students the concept of a monomyth, or hero's story. The idea that stories are constructed around truth and meaning that speak deep to humanity and is presented in sequence in stories. Maybe one lesson you can take from Geppetto is that there are people in your life who provide things for you and mean well, but in that safety, they provide you no opportunity for growth. You'll have to venture outside of their safety. Sometimes you've got to face danger in order to become a real boy, but somewhere along the way, you'll run into a mentor, some kind of benevolent force that helps you along. They help you get where you want to go, but in the end, it will be up to you. Examples of mentor archetypes in literature might be a kind old wizard like Gandalf or Dumbledore, or in the case of Pinocchio, a fairy godmother. She represents the fact that the universe typically rewards those who are willing to step outside of their comfort zones and confront their fears in order to become the best version of themselves. She offers Pinocchio the opportunity to become what he wants, but in order to do that, he has to discover himself.
Am I a real boy?
No, Pinocchio. To make Geppetto's wish come true will be entirely up to you.
Up to me?
Prove yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish, and someday you will be a real boy.
So he goes on, aided by his conscience, Jiminy, to accomplish his dream. But inevitably, he finds trouble along the way. First, while he was going to school, he runs into some not so well-intentioned individuals who bring him to the circus. Pinocchio is unique. Crowds love him, and he'll make a ton of money if he pursues a career in the circus. So he goes, unaware that the door he's just entered into is a trapdoor. And things seem to work out well for him at first, until he tries to get out. And then that window closes, and it becomes nearly impossible for him to escape. So many times the world around us tends to trap us. Whether it's passing up school for a promotion or a pay raise, or chasing after the admiration and communal experience of people around us. It's fun in the short term, and we may be good at what we do, but we know that if we are stuck in that cycle, we will never get to become a real boy. Some people get stuck there forever, but Pinocchio, with a little divine intervention, escapes his predicament. And Geppetto is ecstatic to have him back, and so Pinocchio goes searching for something, anything, but not the circus. So he chases after the next big thing, Pleasure Island, where responsibility and work are scoffed at. All you have to do is have fun, Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you die. With not a care in the world, it's a Peter Pan and Neverland kind of situation, where you never have to face any responsibility or grow up. The problem is that life goes on without you, whether you decide to grow up or not. And eventually, it catches up with you. And in the case of Pinocchio, you'll never be the same. All that time on Pleasure Island will turn you into a jackass. Literally.
Oh, and get them crates ready. Give a bad boy enough rope and he'll soon make a jackass of himself.
You sought to escape responsibility for so long that when it caught up with you, you were a shadow of your former self. Sadly, many people do this, chasing after pleasure and hedonism, drinking and partying their lives away until they have nothing left. So they spend the rest of their lives trying to get ahead and making up for lost time. If we spend too much time on Treasure Island, we share the fate of those boys. We're sent to the labor camps trying to get our lives back. Thankfully for Pinocchio, however, he escaped both ordeals. In fact, confronting suffering and surpassing it was essential to his journey in becoming a real boy. So many times we shy away from suffering or confrontation. In fact, we curse existence for those two things, not realizing that they are what turns us from the work of another person's hands into an expression of ourselves. Pinocchio was just a creation, something lifeless and made out of wood, a literal extension of his father. But him stepping outside of his father's house and confronting existence is what made him a real boy. Not perfection, but the acceptance of suffering and problems and the maturity to grow from them. So naturally, it's quite fitting that he has to go and save the only person in his life who couldn't do that. Once he found himself, he had to take his newfound identity and use it to go and rescue his father. Geppetto was quite literally in the belly of a whale. And in order for Pinocchio to become a real boy permanently, he had to literally go into the belly of the beast. Much like the hero needs to go into the cave and slay the dragon. There's a saying that says that a tree that reaches heaven must have roots that reach down to hell. In order for Pinocchio to discover his purpose and become a real boy, he literally had to descend into the most dangerous and chaotic place. Like Christ had to descend into hell to proclaim the ultimate heavenly victory. This speaks volumes to the human condition. If you want to be great, but aren't willing to work or suffer to do it, then you misunderstand how existence works. If you want to reach the highest place you can without being willing to plant the seeds you need to get there, then you should be content to stay in your own safe place, a place that doesn't challenge or grow you. Here's my challenge to you. Be a Pinocchio, not a Geppetto. Hope you enjoyed the content. I really love these kind of stories. I've posted a link in the description so that you can check out some of Joseph Campbell's heroic archetypes. If you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for future content. My name's Muslim Alanizi. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.